You're free to go whenever.
Hey, my name is Nicolas T. I'm here to talk to you guys today about the concealed carrying of firearms and how it decreases public safety. It's important to note that when I say concealed firearms, I do not mean illegally concealed. So if I were to have a gun here, this would be illegally concealed. I am referring to people who are official permit holders given by the state. So they're licensed by the state to carry a firearm not within sight. Carrying a concealed firearm makes it 4.5 times more likely to be shot during an assault. This is published by the American Journal of Public Health by Charles Brannis, a very influential scientist or statistician, actually. This is a response to my opponent's claim that it makes it more likely for them to be actually defeat the attacker, but however that's not the case, as attackers often surprise them and then shoot them while they cannot respond. States more lenient with their concealed carry laws are actually more likely to have more instances of rape, robbery, and violent crime, as it provokes more action, as people have different tolerances and capabilities, especially with a firearm. So, that brings me to my third point. Carrying a firearm provokes overreaction, because you do have the ability to kill a person. Doesn't mean you should. However, Mr. Charles Brannis speculates that while it may be only the type of people that like to carry firearms, it does give them a sense of overwhelming power and thus leads to many problems, especially while they're intoxicated. People in Texas with carrying permits get arrested for weapon-related offenses 81% more than the general Texas population. These statistics are done by the Violence Policy Center. And my final point is that it is not protected by the Constitution. Many people believe that carrying a concealed firearm is connected to the Constitution. I'll actually read the excerpt from the Constitution itself. A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That means that it is necessary to the security of the state, not that it is desired or that it assists the state, but it is absolutely necessary. So, once again, my points are that carrying a concealed firearm actually does not help you beat an attacker. States with lenient laws offer ways for people who do not meet certain standards to get a hold of firearms, and carrying a firearm promotes the rate of overreaction, as well as that it is not actually protected by the Constitution. Thank you very much.
All right, Nick, you've identified the subject, and we know what the general topic area is. We don't know exactly what the advocate's claim was. I don't know which of the supporting claims the advocate presented you're responding to. Basically, you were just developing a counterclaim in response to this, and you've developed your own secondary claims to support those counterclaims. I thought that you had good information on the first point. You had a statistic that seemed to suggest that carrying the weapons increases the likelihood of being shot, so there's a good piece of information that applies directly. I don't know what the advocate's evidence on this particular point was, or even if they addressed that issue, and so it's hard to contrast the positions given here. The same thing about the second point. You say it's likely to provoke an overreaction. I guess the idea here is that the people carrying the guns are the ones who overreact, not so much the criminals overreact, and I thought that you have an okay explanation of that. The one statistic that I think backs that up a little bit it is the data about Texas, where they have 81% more problems with people who have concealed carry guns, I guess. And that sounded like it was a statistic about the concealed weapons, but I'm not sure if it's the licensed ones or not. So that would be an issue that maybe would be problematic. If we were debating it, we'd have to look at it a little bit further. And then the third argument about the constitutional issues, I don't remember if the advocate had any constitutional argument whatsoever. It doesn't really seem to address a factual claim unless there is a dispute about whether constitutional protections guarantee a right to concealed carry laws, and I don't remember hearing that. I didn't think that you responded to the advocate's claims directly at all, that there's no analysis of the evidence or the reasoning that they used, but you do have some effective counterclaims that would apply to some of those arguments. It just is hard to tell. If we had just heard their speech, it would be a little bit easier to tell, and since there's no review of what their secondary claims were, it's a little bit hard to see how yours was quite competitive. All right, thank you.